Hey, so I am married, and in today's video I'm going to show you what I actually did end up using for my wedding day. One of the first things I did after the wedding was cut my hair. It's a lot easier for me and less time consuming when I have short hair. I just couldn't find any shorter hairstyles I liked for the wedding, so I had to let it grow out some. Skincare's already done. We'll get right into the makeup. I used the Born This Way. This is the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, and it's in the shade Snow. I'm not sure where my eye primer is. I used the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I'm just gonna use some concealer. Doesn't make a huge difference. I used two palettes. One of them is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. The reason I use this palette, it's been my go-to for a long time, but my now husband, he got that for me right when we first started dating, and I just thought it was nice to include, and it's something that I'm super comfortable using. And I used the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I started in the Too Faced palette with the shade Peaches and Cream. I just put that everywhere to get started. And then I used the shade Georgia. I don't know why, but the shade Georgia is like my favorite blending shade. Transition shade. Two of my bridesmaids. One is my sister-in-law and one was my cousin. They were super nervous about doing their own makeup for the wedding, so I felt like I was teaching a class that morning. I would explain what I was doing and why I was doing whatever it was, and they would just kind of copy and do it with me. Everybody's makeup turned out really nice, and they didn't have anything to be worried about. Next, I'm going to take the shade Puree, just a little bit of it, and I'm going to take the shade Summer Yum and I'm going to put it in the outer crease. I took a smaller, more dense blending brush for this part, just to put the color on. And then I'm going to take that Anastasia blending brush that I always use and just blend it. And then I'm going to take that smaller blending brush again, and I'm going to go into Smoke on the Natasha palette. I'm going to put that right where I put the Summer Yum shade, just a little bit smaller of a V. And blend that one out. And then I took a little bit of that same Smoke shade and put it on the inner corner of the crease. Of course, the lighting was much better there. There's a huge vanity mirror. Like, each person had their own little vanity set up, and it was really nice. We were all close by. Everybody was sitting beside each other, but everybody also had adequate space for their stuff and whatever they were doing. There was 5 stations. Mine was in the middle. I had my matron of honor, my sister-in-law, me, my cousin, and on the last one, I set it up for the girl who did our hair to be able to have a station. The girl who did our hair, she did such a great job. I've known her, I think since I was a freshman in high school. That's when I met her. And they've just been doing, her and one of her friends have been doing my hair for years. I'm really glad I had her do my hair just because I've known her for so long. It was just more intimate and very calm and relaxing. Nothing was stressful about it at all. When our DJ got there, when our florist got there, and when the hairstylist got there, they all said, usually by the time I get to weddings, like everything's a mess, everybody's freaking out, everything's hectic, and there's a lot going on. And all 3 of them said that they had never been to a more calm, laid back, smooth wedding. Which, that was my goal. I wanted everything to go smooth and be minimal stress. I did everything I could ahead of time to try to make that happen. I'm gonna wet a flat brush and use the shade Luscious. And I'm just gonna put this in the center of my eye. That mirror is Ofra. I'm gonna let that dry just a little bit and then take a blending brush and just kind of blend out the edges. So I had all of the makeup that I thought I was going to use in my smaller makeup bag, just to keep mine separate, to keep my options down, just be easier to do. And then I took, I think, everything else I own in a bigger makeup case for anybody in case they didn't need some, if they needed something they didn't bring or whatever it was. I ended up using out of both of them. And I'll show you when I get to it. I took this little shader brush and I'm gonna take that shade Smoke and put it under my lash line. About 2/3 of the way in. I'm gonna wipe it off, take the Luscious shade again, and put it on that inner, what, third of the eye. And then I'm gonna take this e.l.f. brush. It's just their blending eye brush. I don't ever use it on my lid, but it's my favorite brush to just blend out and smooth out the bottom. Okay, so this is gonna be all for the eyes for now. I'll go ahead and do the liner. I used the nude liner and the Too Faced Killer liner and Killer Cashmere. It's just a nude. No reason for using this one. It was just there and did the job. I didn't end up using the Smashbox Photofinish primer. And I did use the MAC Studio Fix Fluid and NW10, which I use for all my practices. No matter what the foundation is, I always take some on my hand to kind of warm it up before putting it on my face. When we were talking, as we were doing our makeup at the wedding, I was like, well, if you don't know if you've blended it enough, just keep blending. Like, when in doubt, just keep blending. Blend until you think you're done, and then blend some more. I have dry skin, I feel like my makeup isn't doing great with my skin right now. It's not bad, it's just not the greatest. For contour, I use the Rare Beauty bronzing stick in Happy Soul. Two of my bridesmaids ended up using this too. And we all used a beauty blender to blend it out. We'll try it. It's this little, I think it's actually for blush beauty blender. Let me see if it says. I don't see anywhere. I got it when I got the Beauty Blender brand. It's a cream blush. I thought they would probably work well together. They don't. But I really like this for blending out contour. It doesn't feel like the normal regular beauty blender. This one feels more dense and this one is softer. I feel like if you would use foundation, it would kind of just suck it all up. The Beauty Blender brand cream blush, it is such a pretty color, the one that I got. I cannot get it to work for me at all. I don't know if there's a trick that I just don't know about for that one, or these clips are not doing their job. I ordered some new ones, but the new ones I ordered haven't gotten here yet. I feel like Amazon Prime used to, you order it and it's here like the next day or 2 days later. And now I feel like it takes a week. I don't feel like Amazon Prime is nearly as fast as it used to be. It's kind of just like any other shipping service now. And I did use the Makeup by Mario blush. It's the Soft Pop Powder Blush in Desert Rose. This is my favorite blush brush. It's just a Morphe. It's a cloudy day. It's been rainy here all week, so the lighting is even worse than usual. I'm most excited to get our wedding pictures back. I feel like they are going to be so good. It's a photographer that I did boudoir pictures about 2 years ago. She did my boudoir pictures. She's done family photos for us. We did some Christmas ones. We did some in a park. I had my family get together to do a photo shoot with my grandparents. My grandparents raised me, and they've never had professional pictures done together. And then I thought it would be good for the memory to, you know, professional family pictures of everybody together, because we don't get together very often at all. And then she did our engagement pictures too, so we're all pretty comfortable with her. The girls were comfortable with her. I was really surprised that usually our kids around people or around new people, usually our kids around groups of people or just new people in general, they are very shy. They were not shy at all at the wedding. During the reception, our 2-year-old Addison, we had a little sweethearts table, and then tables going, like longer tables beside of us for the bridesmaids and groomsmen. She was laying right in front of our little table, just laying there on the floor, kicking her legs. I forget what she was eating. She was eating something. And I was like, okay. Okay. I used the Ofra highlighter. My cousin brought it. She brought all her makeup too. And she was like, I've never used this. I don't like it. Let me try that. It's in Glazed Denona. I've wanted to try it. Probably my wedding day wasn't the smartest day to be testing out makeup, but it worked out. The lighting was kind of odd in there too. We had the vanity lights and everything like that, but the highlighter, like you couldn't see it very well. And I know this is a pretty intense highlighter, so I was putting it on. I was like, I don't see this at all. But I'm really glad I didn't ever do it, because that would have been a lot. It's gonna be like this too. Not sure how much. See, he can see it. I used the Gimme Brow. I'll do that off camera. It didn't make it to my makeup bag up here for some reason. This is the Mercier, I don't know how to say it, under eye setting powder. I use it every time I wake up. Because I have dry skin, I don't use a whole lot of powder. I have the full size Mercier. I don't get it out very often. I usually just stick with this because I don't use a lot of powder. It gets very, very powdery, very makeup-ish, very quickly. I'm going to curl my lashes. In my bag I packed for myself, I have both of the reals, the primer, and then the regular black mascara. And I wasn't loving it. I didn't get a new Thrive. There's nowhere around here that sells them. So I was thinking, and I was like, I have the roller lash in my bigger makeup case. This used to be my absolute favorite before I found the Thrive. This was a new one, so I knew it was good. And I told my sister, I was sitting there, and I was like, get the roller lash. She was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, the roller lash. It's a mascara. It looks pink. Like that's what I want. And I'm glad I decided on that one. It worked out pretty well. I have a straight hair that's like hanging out. I really like how it looks. I think that is about it. I used the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk liner. That also didn't make it in my case for some reason. I assume it just got thrown in with the rest of the makeup. And I ended up using the Pillow Talk lipstick. I was a little bit nervous. I wasn't set on any kind of lipstick before, so I still didn't know what I was gonna wear. I was watching some, trying to help my sister-in-law pick out what she wanted to wear because she was super undecided too. And I really like this one, so that's what I went with. I was nervous to use a bullet lipstick though, because I didn't want it to transfer. And I was super nervous about it. That was the first thing, like, after we kissed, I looked, I was like, I know that had to come off. And it didn't. I was really surprised. I feel like it doesn't look as pigmented on camera. So this is the finished look, other than my eyebrows that I had to do off camera. So I guess it is a finished look. I was pretty happy with how it came out on my wedding day. I was very surprised. I didn't have any meltdowns. Usually if I'm doing my makeup myself for something like important, it doesn't go the way I want it to, and my wedding day went better than I had expected it to go. I also used the Urban Decay all-nighter spray. Afterwards I used the Fix Plus to kind of set down all the powders. Then I do my lipstick, just what I do, you know, in my normal everyday life. And then after she put the veil on, I got in my dress. Right when I was getting ready to walk downstairs, I did the all-nighter too. It was kind of hot, so I'm glad I did. I could probably have used that extra. When I was in middle school, when setting sprays first came out, and me and my friend, we wasn't sure what it was. I don't think YouTube was big, or we didn't watch makeup YouTubers at all. But we saw it, and we will call it face hairsprays. That's what I think of. I don't have any pictures from my wedding day from my photographer yet. She said it'll take about a month, which she took so many pictures, so I'm not trying to rush her at all. But I don't have any to show you what I looked like on my actual wedding day. If I can go through like stuff that just people took with their phones, I'll insert anything at the end just to try to give you more of an idea. My hair looked a whole lot better that day than it does today. I'll show you guys how it lasts and all of that later on. So it's been a few hours. It's been about 3 hours to be more exact. Here's what my makeup looks like. We went to lunch. We talked to a lady about going on a cruise. Neither of us have ever been on a cruise before, but it's definitely something that we've been interested in. It's been a gross rainy day all day today. I think it's gonna be like that all day. I've been talking on the phone. You can see that there's not really any wear or anything. It has held up pretty good. It does not look exact like it did on my wedding day, but I could never recreate exact looks anyway. But I think it looks good so far. We are going to look at some houses later on today. We're pretty exhausted with looking at houses. We look at houses just about every day, or if not every day, just like in our free time. We are both always off from work on Sundays and Mondays, so Sundays and Mondays are usually filled with looking at houses. It's this market's crazy, and I thought the hardest part would be like getting approved for a house, because I grew up in a trailer with my grandparents. We didn't have a lot of money, that kind of thing. I remember my grandparents, they taught me that realtors were like something that rich people do. So just the way that I grew up versus the way things are now, like normals, is not the same at all. My grandparents think it's crazy that we look at houses with a realtor. They think it's that if you use a realtor, that means it's just super expensive. My grandparents are also like very sheltered. They've lived the same area their whole life, and that's just how they are. They're very set in their ways, and that's just them. But we've known our realtor for like 6 years now, and like he was invited to our wedding. We know his daughter. We know, I mean, his wife. Like, we've been at this for a while. But yeah, we thought the hardest part would be to get approved for a house. And like, we're there, like we put in the work to make sure we have good credit, like we have like the secure income, we have everything like that on our end. We just didn't know there was gonna be a pandemic that changes the housing market. See, would have thought a pandemic would change the housing market. So that's what our day looks like. I have some work to do on my computer. Tomorrow is our first day back to work since being off for the wedding and our honeymoon. We went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee for our honeymoon. We had gotten a cabin that had a hot tub, and it was just pretty private. That's what we wanted. We wanted something that was going to be intimate and relaxing and not super touristy. We had a pretty good time. So that's what our day looks like, and I'll check in later on. So it's the end of the day. It's dark outside. I've had my makeup on for about 10 hours. Ate, drank, took a nap, looked at 2 houses, been doing all the regular stuff. I accidentally rubbed this eye, so if it looks worse than the other, that's why. I'm okay with it. I feel like it's normal. You wanna say hi, Harper?
Hi. Hi.
Addie? Good job. So that's the end of this video, I think. Yeah, I will try to post some pictures just as soon as I get them back from my photographer. You can see my lipstick is pretty much completely worn off, but just for a bullet lipstick, that's what I would expect for this time frame. That is it. So I'm married. The wedding is out of the way. Everything went super smooth, and it's been good. We actually just left our venue. Some stuff I gotten left behind, and we were just, you know, getting the last of it. Say bye-bye, Addie.
Bye-bye.
Good job. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good job, girlies.